What's up YouTube, Eric here from MajorLeagueTrading.com, and in this video we're going to be doing another interview style video, but instead of talking about the financial markets and stocks and options like we normally do, I was able to reach out to a crypto whale, a guy that started buying Bitcoin when it was just $10 a coin, and he agreed to do an interview with me, and it was a ton of fun. We talked for like almost 3 hours one day. And I cut it down into what this current interview clip is. So again, I want to say thank you to Drew for coming on. It was a ton of fun. We talked about everything from his first Bitcoin purchase back in the day at $10 a coin, to the Mt. Gox, to the Silk Road and Ross Albright, to the fact that now he has over 200 Bitcoin ATMs all across Canada, with another 100 on the way, literally on a ship, on the way to the United States now. And part of our interview actually got cut short because he had an important meeting to get to, and then we picked it back up a little bit later that day. But again, thank you to Drew. It was a ton of fun. You're going to learn a lot on this one. He's also going to be talking about his favorite altcoins for 2022, as well as 4 NFT projects that he's currently involved in, and where he sees the potential upside in that space, as well as a bunch of other things. So without further ado, let's just take it to the clip. All right. Well, what's up, Mr. Drew? How are you, man?
Doing well, thank you. How about you, Eric?
I can't complain. It's 58 degrees here compared to what's it looking like up there in Vancouver?
I think we're about -10 right now. It's a lot better than the -25 last week.
Yeah, that's not for me anymore. I'll let you handle the snow and all that stuff up there.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, what you got going on sounds like something that I could get into, so I might come pay a visit here one day if I can get across the border with a little bit more ease than most people
Yeah,
are currently experiencing.
definitely. Yeah. Fly on down. I'll show you around for sure.
Sweet.
So, anyways, guys, I want to jump into this. Thank you guys for watching here on YouTube. We're going to be doing a little bit back and forth here with Drew. And I gave you a little bit of a taste in the intro here as to, what it is that he's about, and some crazy stories ahead. So definitely stay tuned. And I think the first thing I want to kick it off with is just get a little bit of a backstory and an introduction on, when you got into crypto. Obviously, there's that story of starting buying Bitcoin at $10, which is, Bitcoin's currently like 43,000. That's a just insane return one way or the other. Like, however you look at it, that's just an insane thing. Um, so yeah, let's kick it off with that and just introduce yourself and run with that.
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, like I haven't delved into this too much. I mean, I've been kind of just like avoiding social media for my whole crypto life, I guess you could say. But what actually got me in to cryptocurrency was the decentralized dance parties that I throw. Have you heard of decentralized dance parties?
I mean, I've heard of them from you, but that's before we started talking a couple months ago,
Yep.
I'd never heard of a decentralized dance party at all.
Okay, well, I'll throw one and you'll have to come and it'll be a good time.
Oh, for sure. I'm
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. Actually, for one of the NFT lines, the Party Billionaire Club that I'm involved in, I might be throwing one kind of connected to them, maybe. But we'll see. It could be coming. Maybe spring break in Miami, something like that. We'll see.
Oh,
Yeah.
can't give away too many details, but
No.
if you're somewhere on this date, then you might just see something.
Maybe. Yeah, but so essentially we started throwing these parties in 2008. So we got a backpack with an FM transmitter, and then we hook it up to about 200 or 150 boom boxes generally, set them all up, make a cool little starting point, and then we got the transmitter connected to an iPod and a microphone, so I can turn up the music on 200 boom boxes, and I can turn it down, and then I can say whatever I want on the microphone. And then the night before we throw the party, we scout a route, make sure that there's no obstructions. We're not going to be running into anything that's going to, delay the party or slow things down. And then we kind of just take over the city for the night. And we've done this in pretty much every major city in America, every major city in Canada, and Bose and Vice magazine even paid for us to tour Europe.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah.
So how big's the biggest one been? Like, what would you estimate, like, number of people?
12,000 people.
12,000 people. Just jamming out the boom boxes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's like a Woodstock event with
In the
boom
streets.
boxes.
In the streets, yeah.
Oh, that's
Like,
nuts.
I think my favorite story was in Berlin. The police were not impressed at all. So they came up to me and the other party organizer, and they took our passports.
What?
Yeah, they took our passports, and then like I lead the parties with a giant LED trident, and instead of me leading the way through the Brandenburg Gate, I had a V of 9 German police in front of me. And then we brought like, I think that one was like 1,000 people. And then we all made a big circle in front of the Brandenburg Gate and sang some Meatloaf together. Because I would do anything for love. The police were standing there like, what is going on? They just couldn't put 2 and 2 together. How all these boom boxes were all connected. And they're just like, what? We had a translator like dealing with them. And, it all went smooth. They shook our hands in the end and just told us to get out of here. Like,
I mean, at a certain point, like, you hear the beat, you just like, you got to just start going with it, right? Like,
yeah, like most times the police come, like we've never been shut down. And most times the police come and they just turn on their sirens and music for added effect, or they turn on their sirens and their lights for added effect. Like all of a sudden you got blue and red flashing lights, and like it's like woo! In Phoenix, Arizona, this is one of my favorite stories about it. I was standing there with the police, and we're at the base of the Chase Bank, like the big skyscraper downtown Phoenix.
Okay.
And the security guard is in the middle of this, and he takes his hat, throws it on the ground, and he's like, "Everybody get out of here!" And the cop's like, "Look at that guy." I'm like, I know, right? Like, there's nothing anybody can do to stop it. It's a controlled, fun riot.
He was not having it, huh?
Nobody's gonna break shit. Nobody's gonna break stuff to Walking on Sunshine, right? Like, we play that type of music, so like nobody's gonna do anything bad. It's not like we're playing death metal and everybody's breaking things. Yeah. We're playing Walking on Sunshine, Sweet Caroline. Everybody's singing at the top of their lungs. Bohemian Rhapsody. Like, everybody's just having a blast. Like, oh, that was funny. I'll just one more story on this, and then I'm digressing hard. But on the train in Berlin, they wouldn't let us play music, so everybody sang Bohemian Rhapsody.
I mean, what are you going to do about that?
Nothing. They couldn't do a darn thing, right? Like, everybody just knows that, so everybody just sang it. There's nothing they could do. It was beautiful. We got it all on film. Like, it's great. It's been so much fun. I don't think we've posted that fully. A lot of that is in our vaults. We got thousands of hours of these parties, like thousands.
You planning to release them at some point?
We're making a movie. Yeah. The creator of it, he's been to film school. He's done a lot of cinematography and whatnot, and he's crafting a film to tell the whole story.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
I guess with the current situation, you guys haven't done one, I guess, for a while, right?
Yeah, it's been far too long, but time to pull the genie back out of the bottle, I think,
You're itching to get back out there, huh?
I love dancing in the streets. It's something that I'm known for, so I'm going to do it again.
How many boom boxes do you own personally?
As a team?
Oh, yeah, just as a team, as you, whatever.
We've got stashes of boom boxes all over the world. We've probably got 3,000.
3,000?
At least, yeah.
Damn. Are they old school? Are
Old
they
school, new school, you name it.
everything?
Electronic, dial, everything. We got them all.
Oh man, I'm definitely in. When you
Yeah,
do the next one, I'm in. I'm there.
I love it. Yeah, no, I'll keep you apprised the information.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, very nice.
But
Uh,
yeah, so I digressed for a long time there. Sorry about that.
it's
But
it's all good. I
the
mean,
founder of the DDP, the DDP.com, you can check that out.
good plug.
He told me at one point that we were going to fund the world tour on Bitcoin. I was like, what the hell is Bitcoin? This was in like 2010. I was like, what the hell is Bitcoin? And then he showed me the logo, and I was like, whatever. Like, didn't even think two things about it. I was going to university at the time for commerce. And then I guess I don't know. I don't remember exactly what happened. I think maybe on Reddit. I like saw it on Reddit or something, and I was like, okay, maybe this is worth looking into. And then I found out about Mount Gox. And then I went to Mount Gox. I got an account, and I was like, how do I get money to this Japanese entity place? And I was like, what? Like, I didn't even know about wires, right? Like, so I was just like, well, I might as well just test it. So then I went to my bank. I was like, I'd like to send a wire for $100 US to this place. And they're like, okay. Just confirm all the information. I'm like, well, yeah, it looks right, I guess. Okay. She's like, all right, well, we'll send it, and the cost will be about $50 for the wire fee. And I'm like, oh, wow, like 50% fee for $100. This sucks. Okay, all right, send it, whatever. And then I think like a week later, all of a sudden I get an email. Your account has been credited 100 USD. And I'm like, oh, okay. So then I go onto this platform, and there's this order book thing, and I'm like, what the heck is I don't even get what's going on here. But okay, I got $100. Might as well just throw it all in. So yep, 10 Bitcoins, confirmed trade. Okay, sweet. Now I have no US dollars and I have 10 Bitcoins. Whatever. Okay, carry on with my life. Who cares? And then I think it was like 5 or 6 months later, all of a sudden I see Silk Road busted. Bitcoin price goes to $200. And I'm like, what? So I go back into my account. I'm like, what? Like, I have 2 grand. I put $100 over here. Like USD value, 2 grand. I'm like, okay, what is this stuff? Like,
And it's been downhill ever since then for you.
rabbit hole. Well, not even like, it's my life. Ever since that day, I mean, I think I've been selling Bitcoin.
That's pretty crazy. And Mount
Yeah,
Gox, obviously, there's a much larger story that we could dive into with that whole situation.
that old chestnut. We don't need to crack that
No,
today.
yeah, we're gonna detour from that one for sure.
Yeah.
That and the Silk Road. We'll take those two for another day.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, if you have not read American Kingpin,
Yep.
that's the full story about Ross Albright and that whole situation.
Really?
Dude, I buy it right now on Amazon, dude. I literally could not put that book down because the way in which it was written and the story and like just you wanted to know what happened next. It's crazy.
American Kingpin?
Yeah, the American Kingpin. That's the story. That's the founder. Ross Albright was the founder of the Silk Road, and they share his story of the whole thing, even down to where he was like arrested, and like how it is they tracked him. There were some dirty cops. Like I'm not gonna give away too many secrets, but dude, best book hands down I've probably read in the last 5 years. It was great. Like, yeah.
Well, I'll have it next Tuesday. I just click buy now on Amazon.
you gotta love that part, right?
Done.
Uh,
That's awesome.
Very
Yeah, I
nice.
already got the confirmation email. Thank you, Amazon. I'll see you next Tuesday.
Very nice. You're gonna have to let me know how you like that one.
Oh yeah, I love stuff like that. I didn't even know that book existed, to be honest.
Yeah, dude. It's like I said, I won't give away too many details, but he had USB drives full of Bitcoin just like laying around. Just
I remember these stories. Like I remember talking to Ross on Reddit. Like,
really.
oh yeah, no, like in the
Wow.
early days, like I talked to his mom on the phone. Like,
What?
yeah,
That's
she was
nuts.
like she was such a crazy advocate for Free My Son, freeross.org, I think it was. And
That's
you know,
crazy.
it was a big deal. I donated money. I was there for that. You know,
Wow.
like the corrupt FBI agents, I was there for those cases. Like, well, not there for it, but I was like in the scene already and hearing about this stuff and like realizing what was going on to this guy. And like, man, like in the early days, the U.S. Marshals auctioning off his crypto,
Oh yeah, yeah. I remember that.
like that was crazy.
Yeah.
Who was it? The California billionaire Tim Draper.
Oh yeah, yeah. Tim Draper.
He was buying all of them.
Yeah.
Every auction, he's like, mine. Yeah. Highest bidder. Yeah. Yeah. Sold. Like,
What it's like to be a billionaire, right?
right? He just bought all of them.
Uh, yeah, that's well
And
then. Shit, I didn't.
he was announcing it publicly. He's like, yeah, I just won another auction. Yeah, just me over here. Yeah. He
Uh,
was like the original billionaire pumping this stuff.
that's nuts. I didn't know you were. I would have recommended the book a long time ago. Then had I known that.
Yeah, yeah, no,
Uh, good
I
stuff.
went over my head there. I'm a little busy with my current obligations, as they could say.
I can tell. Let's actually talk about those for a second. So you mentioned you've been selling bitcoins for a while, and obviously I know what you're about to say, but let's talk into the ATMs and the businesses that you have and what you run. Obviously, drop your plug in there as well for that, and run with it.
Yeah, I was just gonna say shameless plug bitnational.com, BIT national. I've been running that. I founded that with my co-founding partner and best friend of I guess like 23 years now. Me and him co-founded it together after we saw the world's first Bitcoin ATM launched in on October 28th, 2013. And then a week after that was launched, the manufacturer of the ATM went behind the guys' backs and told the media that $1.28 million went through that machine. So even the guys that did it, they were like, what? Why did they go over our head and tell the media how much money we just made? Like they were choked, like choked. But RoboCoin came and went because they were not the most sad. Oh, I don't know what the word is, but they weren't nice people. They were a little corrupt. And I won't mention names, but they are no longer in this industry and haven't been for many years. But as soon as that news came out, I instantly emailed them and was like, I want one of your machines. So I wired them $20,000 and I had a deposit. Well, I had a full payment on one of the first Bitcoin ATMs in the world. And then they delayed delivery. And then I finally got it in February of 2014. And then I threw it in North America's largest mall because I thought, what better, what more foot traffic to do that. So I threw it in West Edmonton Mall in Alberta, Canada. And we threw that in on March 2nd, 3 days after Mount Gox collapsed. So you can imagine me standing there being like, hey, buy Bitcoin. And the whole world being like, are you kidding me? And I'm like, seriously, don't trust that unsavory character that just hooped everybody. Because I told all my friends, I got out of Mount Gox before it collapsed. I told all my friends, everybody, we should get out of here. We should leave. And most of them listened to me. Some of them lost money. I didn't lose a dime. You know, it was pretty crazy times. But yeah, so then we launched the first, or Canada's sixth, the world's 24th Bitcoin ATM. And then, it's had a slow start, but at the same time, it was a decent start. It didn't do $1.28 million like the world's first, but it did some money. It gave us enough money that we bought 10 more. And then we threw them all across Vancouver, Calgary, and Edmonton. And then I moved down to Vancouver to watch that side of the operations. And then I became close friends with the other one cryptocurrency ATM company that existed at the time, the Bitcoiniacs. They're still around. They're a smaller operation now, but they still exist. And we just kept on buying more and more ATMs, and now we have 200 from Vancouver to Toronto. We've got another 110 on a boat headed here right now that we're going to expand from Victoria to Halifax, maybe even St. John's, Newfoundland, so I can say coast to coast.
Wow.
And then I'm also actively working with a few parties in your lovely country that I'm trying to get some money transmitter licenses in about 9 minutes, actually. So working on that diligently. I'm the chief compliance officer of all of the corporations that run in the Bit National Group. And we have an online platform as well that's only available to Canadian residents. But that is we're working with the Securities Administration to become an exempt restricted market dealer. And there's only 4 that have been approved so far. And we've submitted and paid for our application. So I'd assume we'll be in the top 10 that have become a regulated exempt market dealer. And we also have a retail store in Calgary. We used to have a retail store in Vancouver, but the restaurant below us decided to burn the building down. So we had to close up shop there, unfortunately. And it took about 2.5 years to do all the repairs. And they just fixed the building about a month ago. So we may or may not take that over again if they give us some kind of deal, because they kind of ruined our business.
I mean,
Just a little bit.
I guess technically, so I don't really know about the ATMs. Obviously, they've got to be connected online. So, like, nothing is technically stored on the ATM.
Well, that's where the ATMs are a beautiful operation, because it's non-custodial. You put your cash in, you get your crypto. We're never in possession of your crypto. The online platform is custodial. We, like, some people leave their crypto or their Canadian dollars on the exchange or on the online platform. It's not an exchange.
Okay.
So essentially, one company is regulated and nobody cares about the other company because we're not in possession of anything. You give us your money, we give you your crypto, everybody's happy. There is no, we're holding your crypto and you can take it or leave it there. It's non-custodial, right?
So your risk in that situation where they burned down was that you had actual physical dollars in the machine.
Well, that was my retail office.
Oh.
I had like an over-the-counter exchange where people could come in, talk to my employees, learn about crypto, and buy and sell crypto from us. It looked like a currency exchange. We had bulletproof glass, we had tills, like it was the real deal.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
So you definitely, I mean, that was, I would imagine, a big portion of your like front end advertisements and everything that,
Huge. And then I wake up on December 23rd, 2019 to the fire department breaking my door and destroying my whole office. Like
it's not a laughing matter, but
they literally burned the building down below us, and it like roasted my office, went up in flames because there was a grease fire below my office.
Wow.
Like the fire department trashed my office. They went up there and just like trashed it. Like everything was ruined.
That's unfortunate.
Extremely. Yeah.
Yeah. But obviously you've been able to pivot and recover from that. And like you said, you got what, 110 more ATMs on the way?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Very nice.
So we'll have, by the end of Q1 here, we'll have over 300 ATMs active across Canada. which will bring us to the second largest operator in Canada in a clear second place. Like the farthest or the closest in third place will be about 100, 150 behind us.
Very nice. Very nice. I
But
like that.
there's one that's double us once we get to that point. So they're doing pretty good. But I'm friends with them. They're cool. It is what it is.
Yeah. A little friendly competition. Nothing wrong
Oh
with
yeah,
that.
I call it co-opetition.
Okay. Okay. I like that.
Yeah.
2 hours later.
All right, guys, welcome back here with Drew. And we're going to be, well, first off, he just had a very successful conversation while we were on a short intermission break about bringing some BitNational ATMs to the United States. So that'll be fun, and congrats to him for that. But one thing we're going to be moving into now and talking about is altcoins and the current positions and some of his favorites that he has on. So this is always, a big question of concern, or not even a concern. It's just always a big question people raise is like, what is it that the crypto whales are investing in? Which new altcoin are they looking at? Is it Solana? Is it Matic? Is it whatever? So with that being said, Drew, let's take it away. And where do you see us at, and what are you in right now?
Well, I'm in.
Besides, you can't just say a lot. You gotta like kind of break it down for us. We need a couple other things besides just the word a lot. Okay.
Well, I'm 100% in Floki Inu. No, I'm kidding. I have no diversification. All eggs, one basket. No, I'm kidding. None of this.
Which is not what we do. And to be clear, before we go into this conversation, we did talk earlier, and Drew has zero stock portfolio positions at all. Owns a Tesla, has a Cybertruck on order, but does not own one single share. So I don't know what we do with that information, but we'll see what you got when it comes to the crypto side.
I'm very untraditional, one could say.
Maybe.
Yeah, but like I respect everything that everyone does with good companies, at least in the stock market. But I've just never jumped into the stock market. I like gold, I like silver, I like physical assets, I like tangible things, and I like crypto, and I like JPEGs.
Which is very all over, different physical to digital to JPEGs. They're all their own unique.
It's personal preference for sure.
Yeah, I mean, and they're all fun.
I'm not saying I'm right. I'm not saying I'm wrong either.
But what you're doing works for you.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
So let's take us through a couple altcoins, couple positions, things you got on your radar, and what those are looking like.
Keynote: none of this is financial advice.
There's a disclaimer in the description below. Don't worry.
Beautiful. Like definitely. I'm a huge Ethereum fan. I can't wait for ETH 2.0. I'm very excited for that. I really hope it is the game changer that it intends to be. But we'll see.
If it's not, what do you think happens?
Then there's a playground available for multiple currencies to jump into and start swinging from all the trees in the metaverse. And NFTs will jump to other chains that are more affordable for the average Joe.
Okay. So Ethereum's got to get this right.
Well, I mean, yeah, 100%. Like, yes, you have smart contracts. Yes, you have great traction, but it upsets me that I got to spend $250 to mint a JPEG.
Yeah, or more.
Or more. I spent $800 to mint a JPEG. Yeah. Literally, I was that excited about the NFT line. I spent $800 in gas to mint a JPEG.
All right.
I don't know. It felt like the right thing to do at the time. What can I say? We've all made mistakes. Maybe it was a mistake. Maybe it wasn't. I don't know. I haven't sold the NFT yet because I'm not selling.
It is kind of crazy to think that, like, I mean, in a way, we're comfortable spending $800 on a transaction fee. Like,
Right? Like, what does the world come to that
Yeah.
I'm comfortable to spend $800 into the ether, no pun intended, that this is just how we do things now to get our hands on a non-fungible token.
yeah, or if you don't, if like the mint doesn't go as planned,
You
or
lose it.
yeah, yeah. Like I tried
I've
to
lost
mint.
thousands of dollars in gas. I've
Oh
lost
yeah,
thousands.
yeah. I tried to mint Jungle Freaks actually, and yeah, that. And I was in the car on a laptop on a hotspot, so of course, like I didn't have the best connection, like at all. So it was $200 in gas, just like that. And
Yes.
luckily that worked out because I didn't end up getting a Jungle Freaks when that whole thing, took place um, with them. I don't know if you were like aware of that situation or not.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it worked. It worked out for the best, but it's
Yeah.
still like I lost $200 in gas for what purpose? I don't really know.
That was
but-
another one. Like I was saying with Mount Gox, I told like 5 people to jump out while they could, and they were all infinitely thankful because I got them out before the thing hit the ground.
Yeah.
They were still like rocket ship, still kind of climbing, and then things start breaking off the ship, and I'm like, "Hey, you guys, you should probably jump off of there before it hits the ground again and goes to zero." And then they did, and they all thank me to this day.
I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
at that point, with Bitcoin at anywhere north of 1,000, they would thank you for that. Much less 40,000.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So.
Well, I was talking about Jungle Fruits.
Oh, I haven't even looked at that project since that whole thing happened, so I don't
I
even know
think they
where
pulled
they're
it
at.
off OpenSea, didn't they?
I don't even know. Honestly, like I
Yeah.
said, I haven't
I'm
looked.
pretty sure they pulled it off OpenSea.
Oh, well.
Like it doesn't even exist anymore. It's gone.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Actually, speaking of OpenSea, before we go back to coins you're in, I want to get your take on. I'm going to detour for a second. I want to get your take on Looks Rare. What do you think about that? Have you been on there yet?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think?
I got my looks.
Yeah, you claimed them.
Oh yeah.
So I claimed them, and then I bought more and staked.
Oh really?
Yeah. So I went through. Well, I was going to use Uniswap, but MetaMask actually gave me a better rate to swap.
Yep.
Yeah. And I was like, shit, I might as well do it. And
Yeah.
I went ahead and I threw another half an ETH at it, and we'll see what it does.
Yeah. No, I think that's a good idea.
I like the potential that I saw a tweet. I don't remember if it was from James at Domain or someone else earlier this year, or in end of last year, coming into this year, that said he thinks OpenSea is going to get flipped this year. So this was like around the time like Bored Ape and Cryptos Punks got flipped, where Bored Ape took over the floor of CryptoPunks.
Yeah.
And he tweeted that out. I believe it was him. And so I don't know if he had like a little inside information as to like what was coming with Looks Rare or not. But I'm curious to see. I mean, they just did another round of funding. OpenSea did. I think they're valued at like 13 billion.
Yeah.
Which is insane. Like basically what, 2 years?
Yeah.
They blew up, and it's like 13 billion. Which is probably
quite remarkable.
It's probably more than what Sotheby's is worth, to be honest. Like their art division, it's probably worth more than Sotheby's.
Bold statement, but I think you're right.
I mean, someone fact check me, but
I'm pretty sure you're right.
which is nuts. So
Yeah.
with that being said, can Looks Rare or another platform knock off OpenSea, and do you think it happens?
Yes.
Okay.
Short answer. But
Fair enough.
I mean, OpenSea isn't the end all be all of NFTs. It can be done better.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
mean, in my head and people that I've told, I have better ideas for a platform,
Okay.
and it still doesn't exist. So I may or may not be working on something with some people that I may or may not be part owner of, or maybe I'm not.
We'll talk about that offline.
I have nothing to do with anything. Am I even here, or is this a deep fake?
That's a whole nother rabbit hole. All right. So Looks is a potential token. You claimed yours. You're a big fan of ETH, obviously.
Yep.
What else you looking at? What do you think? What do you think's moving and shaking?
I love Cardano.
Cardano. Okay.
I do. Big fan of Cardano. Big fan of HBAR.
Okay.
Are you familiar with HBAR?
So I know about a hand. So this is my thing when it comes to crypto is there's a bajillion different things to look at.
Yeah.
Like we could sit here for days on end
Oh
and
yeah.
not look at the same project twice.
Till both of us fall asleep at
Yeah.
the mic.
Yeah,
Instead of
exactly.
at the wheel.
Yeah.
We're both just like,
Yeah, exactly.
still trying to tell.
and still wanting to have a life and other things like we're both married, like in addition to, trying to actually live, right?
Yeah,
I don't think there's enough time in the day to
there
consume
isn't.
all of the information there is in the crypto space. So I narrow it down to like 6 to 10 different things at one time. And then that's
Okay.
it.
I
And
like
that's
your
kind of
style.
like, so I know I'm going to miss out on, a, a bunch of different things.
Yeah.
Right. But if
Yeah.
I can be, specific in what it is that I'm actually looking at the time,
Yeah.
then I feel like I have a better, process for
That's
that.
a really good way to look at it, because if you come into the crypto space and you have a knack for FOMO, fear of missing out,
Oh yeah.
you're gonna have a bad time.
You're gonna get
You're gonna have a
railed.
bad time because you're gonna miss out on 90% of things because you don't have the time to look at 100% of things.
Yeah.
You're never gonna look at everything. You're never gonna see everything.
Yeah. So I remember I got introduced to Bitcoin. It was trading around $200.
Yep.
And I want to say that was maybe 2012.
Yep.
Or so. Was when I first got introduced to it. And the only coin I remember from the time, the guy that introduced me to crypto, was Litecoin.
That's what I was just gonna say. Litecoin.
So
I bought thousands of Litecoin at $1.19.
Yeah.
I sold them at $5.
That feels bad.
I was like, yeah, $5.
That feels bad. So yeah, I remember he was big into mining. He was mining both Bitcoin and Litecoin. Like Litecoin was, for whatever reason, like his go-to thing at the time. And that's the only one I've recognized that's still outside of Bitcoin, like still around from way back then. When I go to CoinMarketCap and I look at like the top 25 and see, what's on there or whatever. So enlighten me about HBAR then. Like what are we thinking? What are we looking at with that?
Well, aside from the fact that NASA, Boeing, IBM are all involved, I mean, there's a lot going on there. There's a lot under the rug, a lot of cool smart contract applications, a lot of DApps, a lot of interesting components that are elevated compared to Uncle Ethereum and Granddaddy Bitcoin. Yeah, it's quick, it's cheap, it's very effective, and it has large corporations behind it.
Okay.
On the I think it's the HBAR Foundation or the HBAR. I'm pretty sure it's HBAR Foundation, but I could be wrong. But they're all members of the board, and like you've got some big players there. Like I don't know if you've heard of NASA or Boeing.
Definitely heard of those.
Yeah. So they're involved, and so is IBM if you've heard of them.
Yep.
Yeah. So I mean, HBAR has been something that I've been watching for a very long time,
Okay.
and yeah, I love that. I'm not on the XRP army, but or in the XRP army, but a lot of my friends are, and a lot of my customers are, and a lot of people are. And that court case is going to be really interesting when it does end, if it does ever end. Like, what's going on there? Can we just like get to the bottom of this? Do we need Sherlock Holmes to come in and figure things out, or what?
I mean, I remember XRP going crazy. Like, I don't know, it was probably like 4 years ago, maybe 5 years ago
Yeah.
at this point. Like when
Yeah.
it was one summer where it just went like absolutely crazy. And then I feel like since then, it's been like I haven't seen that same like enthusiasm about it.
Right.
Like when you go on Twitter, like, you'll get the normal kind of pumps that people are watching. And like that was a big one back in the day, or say back in the day, 4 years ago.
Well, in crypto, that is back in the day.
Yeah, true. Obviously, it's still around. It still exists.
Yeah.
So, you said you're not currently holding any of that.
No, I'm not. I've been in and out of XRP probably 20 or 30 times. Just like, yeah, it's going somewhere. I don't know. Yeah, no, I don't know. Like I'm in and out. I don't know why. That's one that it's stuck with me through the years, but I haven't stuck with it through the years.
Does it owe you some money at this point, huh?
No. I
No?
think we're good. We're on good terms.
Good?
We're flush.
All right.
I think so.
So,
I definitely haven't made money off of it, but
okay.
I'm either a little bit in the negative or pretty close to flush.
All right.
Yeah.
Typically when you dip in the well like 20, 30 times on a name, it's not it either goes really, really bad or really, really good.
Yeah. Well, then might as well talk about Doge. So I bought Doge the first day it was invented.
Really?
I bought Doge. I bought 4 million Doge the first day it was created. Me and my friends, we were throwing a decentralized dance party for Hootsuite. You ever heard of Hootsuite?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we were throwing their Christmas staff party. We did a DDP at Harrison Hot Springs Resort. So we threw this party, and me and my crew are pumping it to the CEO of Hootsuite, saying that he should give them their Christmas bonuses in Dogecoin. And he's like, "What the hell is Dogecoin?" We're sitting in these hot springs, and this one guy's like, "Well, actually, you should probably buy these Nokia stocks. They're really good." And we're like, "No, it's Doge now." It was hilarious. Like we're like we ditched the party and we're back in one of the hotel rooms and we're all buying Dogecoin. We're just sitting there downloading Doge QT. Like, all right, yeah, I got my wallet on my laptop. You got yours? Yeah, sweet. This is awesome. You know who told us about it?
Who?
You know the story of the guy with the red paperclip? Okay, so well, quick digression. I'll make it really quick. This guy had a giant red paperclip. He traded it for I don't know I don't know. Anyways, he traded it for something. He traded it for another thing. He traded that thing for another thing. Traded that thing for another thing, and he traded it all the way up to a house.
Oh, okay, I got you.
From a giant red fake paperclip.
And
it all started with a giant red fake paperclip. Kyle McDonald is his name. You should read his book. There you go. You got me a book, I'll get you a book.
I feel like I know this.
It's a really cool story. But yeah, he's an acquaintance of mine. and he went from a red paper clip to a house. He's done TED Talks. He's really interesting fellow.
Okay, yeah. I do. Now that you say this, I do remember this.
Yep. Yeah, no, it's a really cool story. Really cool
Yeah,
story.
right here.
That's him, yeah. Kyle McDonald.
So that's who got
Super funny guy.
That's who got you into Doge?
Yeah, yeah,
That is funny.
yeah. On day one. Day one.
How long did you hold it?
I want to say a year and a half. And actually, I had some on a phone. I had about, I think, 500,000 or maybe 1,000,000 Doge on a phone that is toast, doesn't work. One of my friends has about 5 million Doge on a phone that doesn't work.
What?
Like, well, it was peanuts. It was pennies, right? Like, well, it wasn't even pennies. It was nothing.
There's no way to get it off then, right?
No, it's gone.
So, did you keep the phone?
No,
No, you just didn't care.
didn't care. Didn't think it would be worth anything. Thought it was funny. Thought it was a joke. Little did I know Elon Musk would be pumping Dogecoin.
You could buy your Cybertruck with some Doge.
I was the original pumper of Dogecoin. I was pumping it the first day it came out. To like CEOs of multi-million-dollar corporations. I was pumping it day one.
That is funny.
Yeah.
So you held it for a year and a half.
That.
So what'd you get out at?
I don't even remember. It was in like 2016. I don't remember. I think I just sold it to buy like a little more Bitcoin or something. Like literally was just like, enough of this childish stuff. I'm out of here. Biggest mistake of my life.
I traded it one weekend. And this was like when the whole, like literally when it like started going crazy. And it was like 4, 5, 6 cents. I traded it one weekend, literally the only time I've ever traded it. I bought it. I'm like, all right, this is going to be, I'll hold this for like a year. We'll see where it goes. Everybody's talking about it going to $1, yada, 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 whatever. It goes to like 7.5 cents. Sold. I'm out.
Why not?
I made like 3 or 4 grand that weekend. And I'm like, all right, it was over the weekend. I'm like, market's closed. Like, what am I going to do? And that's why that's one of the reasons I don't like crypto for myself, is because it's a 24/7 market. And I do that enough during the day that it's like, I don't need to check quotes on another thing when I'm already checking quotes, from 9:30 to 4:30 every day. You know what I mean?
Right.
But yeah, I was like, yeah, I'll hold this. And then, nah, I'm done.
Yeah, no, I think and then recently, like, I think it was just before SNL, I was like, yeah, I should get back in here. So then I bought some at like 30 cents or whatever. And then I ended up selling it at like 28. I was just like,
It's like, it's bad for you, but you still want to have some.
Yeah. It's one of those. Yeah. I'll always have a soft spot for the Doge as a dog lover. But I mean, I don't have any of that either right now. I don't know. I just don't. Same as Shiba Inu. I jumped in like right at the top, then sold like at the bottom of the like big crash. I was like, I shouldn't have even.
You FOMO'd in a little bit on that one?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
FOMO'd in hard, and I lost some money. But we all make mistakes. Yeah.
That's funny.
Super funny.
What do you think about Solana?
Great. Love it.
Yeah. You have some?
Hold it, keep it, love it, learn it. Yeah. That's like a song, isn't it?
I think it's a song.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Keep it, love it, learn it. I don't know.
So I'm gonna detour for a quick second, because we were talking about this earlier with like songs that you guys sing on the decentralized dance parties and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, and this may sound really dumb. I'm just going to preface that. Do you guys listen to like American artists, or do you listen to like Canadian artists?
What do you mean?
So when you throw these parties, you just jam out to
Well,
whatever?
we got a list of about 200 tracks that we call like the DDP tracks
Okay.
because they're songs that everybody knows and loves, right?
Okay.
You
That
know,
that
like,
was more, like I said, it was gonna sound like a dumb question, but that was more of what I was getting to, is like, we were talking about like Sweet Caroline. Like
yeah,
there's songs that are like iconic, I guess, right?
yeah.
That
Well, like for
everybody
instance,
knows.
we generally start the party with Sandstorm.
Okay. All right. We can.
Yeah.
All right. Now there we go.
And then, like we got our stationary songs, we got our moving songs, we got our sing-alongs, like we have them all categorized, right?
This is a full thing.
Oh, there's a field manual.
What?
We literally have a field manual on how to throw these parties. I'll get you a copy.
All right. I'll check it
It's
out.
thick. It's thick, but I'll send that one in the mail with that red paperclip book. I got a copy of that laying around here too.
Oh, I wanna make a "That's What She Said" joke so bad on that one.
But you won't.
All right, we gotta detour back before we get too off on this one.
Trouble. You're a troublemaker.
Yeah, that can get in trouble. That one can get in trouble. Good old Michael Scott. All right, let's take a look at some NFT projects then. Right, so
Sweet.
there's this kind of in my mind, like when I break down crypto and different things, obviously there's the actual crypto market itself, which is going to be Bitcoin, Ethereum, those types of things. And then I think there's this subset that is only recently been, kind of brought to light. It's been around for a while. 2017, 2016-ish really was kind of like the coin term for NFT. But I view them as like a completely different asset class within crypto.
Yep.
So I'm interested to see what projects you're in, why, and then I have this idea that in moving forward, that just profile pictures aren't going to do it anymore. So just good artwork.
We're already past that. Profile pictures don't do it anymore at all. To me, you got to have utility.
Okay.
So
So
I'm
yeah,
gonna buy into a project. I need utility.
okay. So that's where I want to take that. So let's kick it off. You pick a project, and I think you said you had 4 projects that you wanted to talk about.
Yeah. I mean, there's 2 that I'm holders of, and one of them that I'm a whale in that I love, and 2 that haven't minted yet, and then the 4th one is very, very unique. I think you're gonna like it, especially if you're an American. You're gonna like it because you're in a cool club coming right up here, like a super cool club.
Right.
So I mean, let's just start with that one because I think this is the most unique NFT line I've ever heard of.
Okay. Hit me with it. So I only know of one of these, by the way, just for reference at the moment.
Yeah.
Obviously, I
Okay.
I know of 2 of them. I don't know the other 2 because you haven't told me yet.
Right. So let's start with like I do own 4 of these. I'll say that right off the hop because they're my tickets to the festival. So you go to tikifestival.io.
Tikifestival.io.
Yep.
Okay.
And there you go.
The officially licensed community music festival. 12,555 of them.
Yeah, they were given away. Minting was free.
Interesting.
They have a budget for the festival already of $117,054 as of January 1st, 2022, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. The carving ceremony starts tomorrow. So you carve, well, it's like that's what they're calling it, carve, but you put your favorite PFP into like your PFP in their NFT. If that doesn't sound cool, I don't know what does.
So you insert your PFP in their NFT.
Yeah. Yeah. So
All right.
you put the PFP in the NFT, and then you are in the hole in the middle of the picture. It's perfect.
I like it.
Right? So that's
like
the carving ceremony that starts tomorrow, I believe, or maybe the next day. But this is also free. It just costs a little bit of gas. But then when you do this, you now have your Tiki Festival ticket. You're in the club. And then you get exclusive information as to when these real life music festival events are going to happen. And they're happening in America. And you can earn money from the project by licensing your PFP avatar. Kind of the way Pixie Vault licensed the Elite Apes, or Jenkins the Valet licensed Apes and Mutants, you know?
Okay.
So that's coming. That's really exciting. I mean, they got a nice budget already, like I said, and they got a solid DAO wallet. It's going to be amazing. The team's great people. I'm working with them. I'm not paid, or I'm not endorsed. Like I'm just a big fan, and I'm lucky enough that they want to have calls with me and invite me into this stuff. And now I'm excited to come to these events, and like they're going to throw a festival that's all the NFT holders are allowed to come to this festival. And like you buy an NFT, that's your ticket to the festival. You're in.
So it won't be open to the public then?
No.
Okay. This one's interesting. It's relatively cheap at the moment too.
Extremely, because nobody knows about it. Except for me and my friends.
So there's 12,000. It looks like they gave them away for free, obviously. So
yeah,
all of them are out there. It's not like they had any issues minting them.
No, you just have to pay gas, and then they did some kind of like rebuy or something like that. I don't really know the full story behind it, but they did something where they bought some of them back and then they resold them, and that's how they started accumulating funds, I'm pretty sure. Don't quote me on that, but it's something like that. Maybe I'll make a comment if I'm wrong about that. I'll make a comment on the video and fix my statement there.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, like that one is super fun because none of us have really been to a festival in a long time, and this is a great way to like start engaging in a community where we're all going to plan a festival together, right?
Yeah.
Like, I know tons of DJs, I know tons of rappers. I'm excited to bring them to it. They're excited because I know these guys that I'm talking like, like, do you know Souls of Mischief, 93 Till Infinity? You know that song? No, it's before your time. I'm a little older than you. But like Zion I, heard of them?
Nope.
Oh wow. You like hip hop?
So it's very sporadic. Like I don't stay in any one. So I guess I default to country music.
Okay.
And then like I'll go through phases where I like venture out for a little bit, and then I kind of come back.
Chestnut?
Oh yeah.
I grew up listening to Mark Chestnut.
Okay. Yeah. Alan Jackson, Tim McGraw, Toby Keith.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, and that's what I mean by default, but that's what my parents only listened to.
Yeah.
And obviously, when you're in their car, they get to pick the radio station. So,
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
There's a lot of traveling wheelberries when I was a kid.
Yeah, it was.
Steppenwolf.
No, nope, no chance.
Born to be wild.
Yeah, for whatever reason, my dad just never like he was a product of that era, but
Yeah.
it was slow, easy country music on his drives, and that was
Okay.
that there was one station, and if we crossed the mountain, then there was another station,
Yeah.
and that was it. Like,
Yeah.
so it is what it is. But yeah, like I said, so I venture out every now and then I'll kind of come back. I was on a Martin Garrix kick for a while last year during
Yeah.
2020, which was cool, or I guess 2 years ago technically. Um, so yeah, I don't know. It's just, I mean, I'm down to listen to all types of music, so I may have to pick up me a tiki bar NFT here to
You might as well get one, man.
Exactly. Why not?
Yeah.
All right. So we got tiki bar.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we might see each other at an event. What do you got next?
I'll go with my heavy hitter that I'm a golden guest, a whale, and a conference speaker for the community.
Okay.
So we've got the Party Billionaire Club.
The Party Billionaire Club. Very nice. Which I am a holder of this one as well. Which is in return how we met.
Yeah, true enough. Yeah.
All right. So obviously I like this project as well. I have my own thoughts and reasons behind that, and I want to see if some of those line up with what it is like you're thinking as well. And when we talked about, it's going to take more than just a profile picture, it's going to take utilities. What is it that you see in this project?
Well, like off the top of my head, the cool utilities that they have, like for instance, if your party ape's wearing a work hard shirt, you get, if you hold it for, I believe it's 90 days, then you have the opportunity to provide a business plan to the admins of the community, and they choose the top 10 from all these apes that have the work hard shirts, and then the community votes out of the best 10 business plans, and the winner gets 30,000 US dollars and the whole community support to develop the business.
Yeah.
Like, how great is that for a networking convention type thing?
Yeah. And
It's amazing.
And it won't be just a one-time thing.
No, it's an ongoing thing.
Yeah.
Like an ongoing thing. Like that's what, like, this type of stuff is brilliant. And then if your ape's wearing a turtleneck and you hold that for, I think it's 2 months, you can win a $50,000 scholarship for your child or yourself to go to school. Like, that's huge. Like, to somebody, that's life changing to somebody.
For sure. I mean, it lets you go to potentially a school that you might not have ever gone to.
Precisely.
Or if your kid's, like my kid's 3.
Yeah.
Whether he goes to college or not, I have no idea at this point. He's 3 years old.
But if they're locked into a smart contract that as soon as your son or daughter turns 18 or 19, and then they're ready to go to university, the smart contract unlocks $50,000 in Ethereum. That's now $500,000 or something.
Who knows, right?
Right? Then, like, think of the implications for that child. That's huge.
It's huge. Yeah, definitely.
So then, or else if your party ape is wearing a sombrero and you hold that for 30 days, they're going to send you to Cancun.
Yeah.
Potentially.
Which someone, I think,
they already did it.
Yeah, they just went and came back.
Yeah, they already did it. It's already happened.
Yeah. It was in the past few weeks, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, when you're getting utility like that just by being a member of the community, it's like buying a lottery ticket, and then you have all these options with the lottery ticket for different prizes to win, and it's ongoing. It's not just one and done. You got this thing coming to you for the whole time that you own this thing. This NFT, this non-fungible token. So the utility is the thing that has got me intrigued. It's got Kevin O'Leary intrigued. It's got Mark Cuban intrigued. It's got everyone's attention, because this is something that can change the world and has real world implications. Like if your ape has a rose in its mouth, every month they're giving away $600 for the best dinner of your life, they're calling it. So
Yep.
imagine going out to a restaurant and being able to spend $600 because you just got it because your ape has a rose in its mouth.
Yep.
Like I got like 3 of those with roses in their mouth. I can't wait for my $600 dinner. I'll win one day. And then it's going to be a real nice dinner.
Well, and on top of that, you're already getting $500 a month from your golden guest.
I minted a golden guest. There's 15 one-of-one golden guests
out of 10,000.
Out of 10,000.
Yep.
There's only supposed to be 12, but at the last minute, they added the hear no evil, speak no evil, see no evil monkeys, apes.
Yep.
And I, fortunately, minted the silent. So I have that. I have that as a tattoo. I got the tattoo started 2 days after I minted it. So I have my NFT tattooed on my leg, and I'm not selling ever. Not selling. You can make me sell it. I'm holding it. And I get every 16th of the month, I get $500 in USDC airdropped into my MetaMask for the rest of my life.
So I just had an idea about this. I want a picture of your tattoo because I think that's going to be the thumbnail for the YouTube video.
Ooh. But I haven't revealed the tattoo yet.
I know. But what better way to reveal it than on YouTube?
Fine, done. You win.
that was a hard sell.
Hard sell. Whatever. I don't know. I've been trying to think of the best way to reveal it for like 2 months. So whatever, you take it. You have it. I'll just send you the picture. Whatever.
That's funny. All right. I'll take that one. Billionaire Club also has there's a couple different things. They did the Fusion event, which, again, in my opinion, I think it went off like perfectly. Like it was super smooth. I did a video on it. It's on my TikTok. Cool. Say what?
It was super cool.
Yeah, it was really clean. Yeah.
I had to do it with like 30 apes. Like it was ridiculous. Like it took me like 2 hours. I literally sat there for like 2 hours and did this. The one thing that was hard is that you remember on Super Mario when that card game where you like flip the cards?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it turned into that in the end because I didn't know which ones I had fused. So I was like fusing one that's already been fused, and then it's like cannot execute, cannot do this. They should have like disappeared from the list as you were fusing them. That was the only thing that was a little annoying, but most people wouldn't have that problem. There's only like 10 of us that have that problem because there's not too many people that own like 50 plus of these.
Yeah. It's a good problem to have. So like I'm not feeling any kind of way. I'm not feeling bad for you at all.
No sympathy. Understood. Yeah.
I didn't have that problem. Okay, I'm just saying. But no, I did. Like I said, I did fuse 7 of them, and what threw me like really for a loop on those and made me actually pick up a couple at the end, because I didn't fuse first day. I was like, let me see what starts to come up, and it was great that I thought it was really cool where you could see what you were going to fuse before you actually did it. Like you knew what your cyborg was going to look like, which that whole preview process and making that whole thing work was super, super clean. The accessories with the earrings threw me for a loop because I was not expecting that one at all. And I ended up picking up a couple pieces, and I ended up fusing a few more than I had originally planned, just because I saw what that actually gave me, and I'm like, oh shit, I need a sword, or oh shit, I need an AR-15 on my guy. So I ended up picking up a couple extra for that specific reason, which I thought was good, and I like them. I mean, they're they're sick pieces. That's probably, in my opinion, the best artwork of any project that I've seen.
It's pretty remarkable. I mean, like, I love my cyborgs. I love my party apes. I kept a few originals just because I feel like maybe they might hold value, being originals. But I mean, I love my fused apes, and the cyborgs are amazing. And of course, I absolutely adore my golden guest.
Any plans for future tattoos? Like, do you put a cyborg on the other calf?
Oh, that tattoo artist is gonna hate me. Like, here, put this crazy cyborg on me. He's like,
that's gonna take a lot of work.
Yeah, that'd be a few hours under the gun there.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I might consider it.
Send me a picture.
Yeah, I definitely will. But I mean, like, with Party Billionaire Club, you've got the Billionaire Club Bank. That's coming soon here. That's going to be amazing.
Next couple days.
Yeah, like liquid ETH in the bank. The community has the power. Like, that's amazing stuff. You make passive income from this that's not reliant on market prices, and obtaining, like, you get great networking opportunities, like I've mentioned multiple times already in this conversation, because you're in a community. This is a club. This is not just a crypto that you buy some and you're like, hey, I've got 10,000 XRP. I'm in the XRP army. No, you're in a community. NFTs are different than that, right? Like, you're actually doing something productive and you're getting people involved in something that they previously wouldn't have been involved in.
Yeah. And I've already made connections, obviously, like, what we're doing right now, and with other people in the community that are either in the same space as me or anywhere. Like,
I've made friends with dozens of like-minded individuals that have the same goal. They want to see progression on this planet. They want to see things work in the right direction. And they have great, like, they're innovative. They're creative thinkers. They're people that don't just sit there and play by the rules and, like, go to 9 to 5 jobs. Like, these are people that are actually thinking outside of the box and want to have fun. And that's what I'm all about, if you haven't noticed.
The Moonsies don't give it away.
Setforlife.com. But you'll never find it.
So I can't say it because it's not out there yet. It's not out there yet. So I mean, I think the BC Bank is huge. Splitting up, royalties to holders, and giving back to the community. Definitely. I mean, you look at Bored Ape. Like, what have they generated in, like, just royalty fees alone? Insane.
Well, they just made 46 grand off of M&M. What do you buy? $460,000. They get 10%. So there's 46 grand. Thanks, M&M.
And Travis Barker just bought in.
I was really upset about that. Like I said, I'm a drummer. He's been my idol for like 22 years. I was like, you know what? I tweeted him. I was like, Travis, I'm pretty upset that you're now bored. I thought you'd really like to come party. Like, like I always say, once everybody's done being bored and desperate, apes, they're going to come party.
Yeah. I mean, that's the normal trajectory, right?
Right. Yeah. You start bored, you start desperate, and then you realize, I can actually go party and have fun. So yeah, they're coming. Like, I'd come over here if I was them, but to each their own. I'm not judging anybody. I'm just saying.
I mean, they're definitely, like, I'm not going to try and take anything away from Bored Ape by any means. Like, they're the freaking top dog of
the premier NFT. Yes, of course.
Yeah. I mean,
great. Jimmy Fallon's involved. Shaq's involved. Timbaland's involved. Everybody, the celebrities are all there. It's the great place to be.
I mean, at a certain point, it's like when you look at NFTs from an investment standpoint at the same time, which I think you have to, there's definitely obviously the community aspect and these utilities and things like that bring you benefit, but also, at some point, you're holding 50 plus apes, you're going to look at potentially taking some of those off the table. Right. And potentially, right. I mean, obviously T-shirt says I'm not selling.
Well, I still got a box of hockey cards from 1992. Do you want to see those?
Are they unopened?
Yeah.
Wow.
I got some crazy cards. I got Mario Lemieux's rookie card. I got a whole bunch of stuff, man.
That market went crazy, like 2020 when everything shut down. For whatever reason, that made no sense to me. Like Michael Jordan rookie cards were going for like 600 grand or something like that. I'm like, the stuff went 200-400% what felt like overnight, and nobody was playing any sports.
Yeah, who knows?
But
like, see, that's where like this is the evolution of collectibles.
True. Yeah, I mean, you could compare these to baseball cards.
Yeah.
Of
Hogs.
Of the new generation.
Yeah.
Which they should never. I'm sure some will get lost, but they shouldn't.
For sure.
But they shouldn't.
Sure. It shouldn't, but it's quite easy.
Yeah, quote unquote, they shouldn't, but it'll happen for sure.
Yeah.
So, all right. So when you look at it from like an investment standpoint, though, like, all right, if I want to step in and buy a Bored Ape right now for, let's say, 75 ETH, I don't know what the floor is, somewhere up there.
77 last I checked.
77. Okay.
Yeah.
Where can they actually go?
Well, they bought them. I don't know, man. I have no idea. It could go to 200 ETH. Like, it could be all of a sudden, this is really elite, like, because they're out of the reach of the average person. Like, the average Joe can't buy a Bored Ape nowadays.
No.
Like, you've either been in crypto for a very, very long time, or you're rich.
Yeah. You're
either already an elite, or you're a crypto elite, or you're not having one. You're just not.
Yeah.
Or you're getting one for 0.3 Ethereum because somebody drunkenly lists it.
Dude, that one that went for 0.75 the other day. I was like, oh my gosh.
Slip of a finger. You got those chubby fingers, eh?
Dude.
Accidentally hit that decimal.
It's nuts. All right, so I'm looking right now. The cheapest one you can get is 74.69 ETH. They've traded 318,000.
Who's buying that one? Mariah Carey?
318,000 Ethereum is what they've traded on OpenSea so far.
318,000 Ethereum.
318,000. It's total volume.
Think about that number for a minute. Like 318,000 Ethereum. Let's do a quick calculation.
A large portion of that, I would say, would be, just in the last 90 days, they've done 132,000.
So after OpenSea takes their cut, which is pretty significant, the Bored Ape Yacht Club is left with 23,850 Ethereum times, what is it,
32 right now?
3,200 for an Ethereum, $76.32 million. Come on down. Just for making a bunch of JPEGs? Wow. Good for them.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Good for them.
It's staggering numbers.
Staggering.
Yeah.
Like staggering numbers. And when you're talking that, like OpenSea's made $25 million just off of Bored Apes alone because they take 2.5%.
Yeah, not including the mutant apes or the Bored Ape kennel clubs that they've come through. Like,
lest we forget.
Yeah, the serum that just went for what was it, 5.2? Come on, 5.2 million.
Oh my goodness!
For something that you don't actually know what you're gonna get when you use it.
Yeah, So that was like way more sketchy than Fusion with the Party Billionaire Club.
Bro, I'm like, yeah, 5.2 million, and you have no idea what you're getting at the end of it.
Yeah.
You could hate it.
Good luck.
You could absolutely hate it.
Good. Yeah. Or it's just a white screen. It's just a JPEG of snow. You're like, "Aw." Or it's blacked out. We gave you dark matter.
Dude, I can't even.
Congratulations.
I watched it live. I can't even imagine what that feeling would be like.
Yeah.
Of not knowing what you're gonna get and not knowing.
The fear of the unknown kicks in.
Yeah.
You're like, oh dear. Hold on to your hat. Don't look down.
Yeah, that one threw me for a loop.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But
well, yeah, I mean,
you don't own any Bored Apes, right?
Not a chance. No chance. I'm not bored.
So what else? We got Tiki Bar, we got the Party Apes, which obviously I was aware of.
Yeah.
What's next on the list? That's 2 down. We got 2 to go.
So next I will go with as I'm a Canadian. I stumbled upon this one about, I think it was like just after Christmas. Somebody sent it to me. I forget who even sent it to me. I think I might have just seen it on Twitter, but it was the GCBC, the Great Canadian Beaver Club. So I think it's GCBNFT.io. I think. Is that right?
The Great.
Yeah, I think it's just GCBNFT.io. I'm pretty sure.
All right, hold on. GCBC NFT.
No, GCB NFT. 6 letters.
Hold on. Say it again.
GCBNFT.io.
There we go. All right, I got it now.
There you go.
Great Canadian Beaver Club.
I couldn't help myself. There's no beaver time. I wouldn't ought to be anywhere else. Like,
all right, I can see it. I kind of like the artwork, to be honest.
well, that's the thing that got me is
Yeah.
I got scammed on a couple NFTs, and I really like the artist and I like their work. And then I'm surprised that's like I probably should have seen it through his Instagram or something, but I saw it on Twitter. But Dino Tomic, have you heard of him?
Mm-mm.
He's a Norwegian artist. He's done like I think 20 or 30 NFT lines. He's done work for Snoop Dogg. He's done work for The Weeknd. He's done work for Bad Boys movies. Like really, really good artist. And he's the artist behind this project.
Okay.
He's not involved in it in any way, as far as I know, but he's the artist behind this project.
Interesting.
Yeah, no, like check out his Instagram. He's got like 1 million followers, and he does like crazy like gunpowder art and like totally like trippy stuff. There's like glow in the dark stuff, like like horror movie stuff. Like it's super cool. I really enjoy looking at his art. I'll probably buy. Well, I have bought some. I got one of his infamous skulls. Like I'm a big Rick and Morty fan, so I have an infamous skull of Rick, a Rick skull. As you see my Rick over my shoulder there.
Yep.
Yeah, so I got a Rick skull NFT that's signed by Dino. It's not worth anything currently, but I don't care. I have it. It's mine. I love it.
I mean, possession is 9/10 of the law, right?
Exactly. Yeah. But yeah, back to this current one we're talking about here. Like they got different lodges. Like they got the political lodge, I think.
So they haven't minted yet, it looks like.
No,
right?
no, like that's what I was saying. There's 2 of them that I'm talking about that haven't even minted yet. This is the first one that hasn't even minted yet.
Okay. I'm checking this out.
Yeah.
Political
So
Lodge, the Beaver's Den, a Technology Lodge, Celebrity Lodge, Party Lodge. That's where you want to be.
I think so. I'm pretty sure you want to be in the party lodge. And the Trailer Park Boys, right?
Yeah.
That's the party lodge. They're all like, it's Ricky, Julian, Bubbles, Leahy, Randy. They got Randy Beaver. He's got a burger in his hand. Like, it's too funny. I just can't.
Dude, they've got an I Heart China on Trudeau. That one's my favorite.
Imagine minting that.
That one is my favorite. I'm gonna mint just to see if I get that one, to be honest.
I almost feel like I'm in trouble for laughing at this.
I mean, that's a whole, yeah, we can't go down that road.
No.
We
Like,
can't go down
that's,
that road.
to me, that's going too far, but I'll support the project. Like, go to the end of that. Go to the end of those political ones, like scroll over. I don't know if you know much about Canadian politics, but it gets really funny at the end of that.
So I see the Doug and I see the Rob one. I only
What's in his
know-
hand?
I see that. I don't know the backstory behind it. I
Google
know
that.
Huh?
Google that at some point.
I'll definitely Google that one at some point.
Yeah, we don't need to talk about that. That's going too far, in my opinion.
That's funny.
Yeah. I mean, but like the way that they have that structured, like read the roadmap and stuff. It sounds like it's like whoever mints those is in charge of that part of the community. So like, if you want to be a part of governance, get one of those governor NFTs. If you want to be in charge of the parties, get a Trailer Park Boy. Right?
Okay.
Yeah, it's really interesting to me because it seems like they're the first in the world that is like giving responsibility to somebody that mints one. Right? Like, you can sell it and then you hand off the responsibility to somebody that wants that responsibility. Right?
Okay.
It's pretty interesting in that light.
I don't hate the idea.
Yeah.
By any means. I want to see how it gets executed upon. But yeah.
Yeah. It's like, I don't know. I'm just sitting here with my popcorn, like, I wonder what's gonna happen here.
Waiting for the show to start.
Yeah. I think it mints in like 2 or 3 weeks here or something.
Yeah, 14 days.
14 days. Holy. Yeah.
Interesting. We'll see where that one goes then. I'll keep it on
Yeah,
my
I
radar.
know. I'm intrigued. I got my popcorn. I'm ready.
I like it.
Yeah, and like they got like 51 of ones. So like one of every 200 that mint is ultra rare.
I like that ratio.
It's pretty significant ratio.
Yeah, that's a lot.
You got some good odds. Like, if you mint 50 of them, like if I whale into this one too, which I'm considering, it's like you got pretty good odds of getting one of these like technology, political, party, celebrity, Beaver's Den. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah. No,
Yeah. So I don't know. And it's just funny because like it's there's so many Beaver jokes. Like, I'm in their Discord and oh my gosh, it's damn hilarious, I must say.
No pun intended.
Yeah.
That's
And
pretty
then
good. Which that definitely helps before we move into the next one. That definitely, like a good community, like you said, you meet dozens and dozens of people.
the community is the NFT.
Yeah.
The picture's just part of it. The community is the NFT.
And you even potentially start new projects and, other things with those people you meet. Like, I know of a couple projects that I'm in where people have, collabed and now they're working on their own thing. Which is super cool. And I mean, they're in different states, different countries. Like, it might not have ever been possible without, that community or that interaction.
Totally. I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
I couldn't agree more. And like the friends that I've made in the Party Billionaire Club are now friends for life. And like, like we just joke and laugh and share brilliant ideas and progress ourselves as individuals and as a team. Like, I feel like I'm on a team, like I love it.
Yeah, it's good.
I love it. I
agree.
I like NFTs have brought me back to life in crypto. I was getting bored. And then I almost bought a Bored Ape, and then I'm glad I did because now I'm partying. I'm back to partying. It's great.
We can't have you getting bored. Who knows what happens then?
God forbid. Yeah,
that might be a dangerous situation.
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah. Not to bring the other three down, but I'm gonna maybe say I saved the best for last.
All right. Let's I think I know this one, so let's
we're going with Crypto.docs NFT.io.
Crypto.docs NFT.io.
Yeah.
So I think there's a real big, which I obviously do know this project, but I think there's a big opening in basically every industry.
Huge.
For disruption.
Implications are huge. I told my lawyer 7 years ago he might lose his job to the blockchain. He said, whoa, Drew, slow down. And 3 years from now, I could be right. Smart contracts do exist, and they are pretty smart compared to some lawyers.
They are.
It takes corruption out of things. It takes the mishandling out of things, should we say. It takes the need for expensive legal battles out of things. Blockchains exist. Medical records can now exist on blockchains. The medical industry is coming to the blockchain with crypto docs. This is something that the implications are bigger than I even realize. And I feel like I'm quite privy to a lot of things in this space. So like with crypto docs, they're now having this NFT line, and then there's going to be symbiotic, a token attached to it. It's symbiotichealth.io. It's the official cryptocurrency of their medical blockchain. This is getting crazy. This is getting rowdy. This is where, things change. This is where industries flip, because now it's allowing for medical studies on plant-based medicine. And then they're going to bring out Shield, which is a clinically validated plant-based drug proven to cure COVID, launching within the next 6 months.
Wow.
Like, I'm making bold statements, but I can back them up.
That would be game changing.
It is.
Like across many levels.
That's why I'm talking about it. That's why I fell in love with the project when I saw it.
There's a lot to this one.
There's a lot. Yeah, this is a big chestnut to uncrack here.
Yeah.
Or to crack. You don't got to uncrack it. You just got to crack it. Yeah.
So the team is doxed, right?
Yeah.
In this one? Okay.
Yeah, like it's going to be huge.
Which we didn't talk about that. I definitely want to stay on this particular one for a second, but we didn't talk about that with the other projects yet. How important do you think that is to projects moving forward, that they be fully doxed?
It's a tough one for me, because at the same time as it matters, like that's where it's the community that makes the project. At a certain point, it doesn't even matter who the founders are.
Okay. I mean,
it's distributed consensus. If everybody wants it to be a solid community, it's going to be. If everybody's like looking for one person to lead the pack, then yeah, you better know who the founder is, because you guys are all followers. Like if you're all followers, then yeah, you better know who the founder is. But if you're all a bunch of wannabe leaders that want to step up and change the game, then who cares who it is?
Okay. So my only position with that is we've seen it a lot more than I would like to see it, where projects ends up being just a straight rug.
Don't get me started. I don't want to talk about that because I have some serious anger deep within.
I think everybody does to some degree, right? I mean, once you've been in one, it change. I don't want to say it changes you, but it definitely, it doesn't feel right.
Oh, you want to hear a sad story?
We're about to bring it down for a minute.
Yeah, we're gonna take it back. We're gonna get a little sad here for a minute. So have you heard about this one, Doodle Dragons?
I have not.
Okay, so Doodle Dragons sold out their mint. I think they sold it out in like 6 hours or 7 hours. I could be wrong there. I'm not, don't quote me on it. But he posts on his Discord, after some backlash and more research, we've decided we're going to make our first donation of $30,000 to the World Wildlife Fund later today.
I do remember this one now that you say it.
And then he's posted that, and then 2 minutes later,
Just kidding.
says, actually, F that. Our charity will instead now be ellipses my bank account. See ya, nerds. And then erased all profiles, all Discord, everything gone. That sucks.
I do remember that one, actually.
That sucks.
Yeah, I saw it after it happened, so I never saw it before.
No, I found out about an hour after it happened. One of my friends that went into it, he sent me it. He's like, dude, look what just happened to me. I was like, oh, see you, nerds. Do your own research. Oh, that's terrible. I hate laughing about it. It was millions of dollars.
Yeah,
millions.
Has anybody taken that tweet and sold it as an NFT yet?
I'm about to do that right now. I just listed it on OpenSea. Starting price, the $30,000 that was supposed to be donated to the World Wildlife Fund. We'll start the bidding at 7.69 Ethereum.
Dude, someone would buy it.
Oh, for sure.
Literally, no joke. Someone would buy it.
Well, as soon as we're done here, I'm going to list it.
Oh, man.
This is terrible. We've deviated so far from our path.
We have. I think what we were talking about is this getting broken up into a couple different videos might end up being the case.
I gotta say this. Have you ever tried these?
I have not. I've seen them. I've definitely seen them. I have not tried them.
Cucumber watermelon.
It's good, huh?
Oh, it's gluten-free, it's vegan, it's keto-friendly, raw organic. You gotta try it. Shameless plug, because I have no investment in them or anything, but I just love drinking them.
I've been doing so we're doing my wife and I are doing a thing right now where it's called 75 Hard. It's Andy Frizella First Form.
Yep.
That's his company. So 75 days, 2 workouts a day. One of them has to be outside. Yep. 10 pages of reading, no cheat meals, no alcohol, and then drink a gallon of water.
A gallon?
A gallon.
A gallon of water?
A gallon of water a day. Yeah. Yeah. We're day 10, I think, right now.
Good for you.
We've done it twice before. We failed one time and then completed the second time.
Nice.
So once I'm once I'm not drinking a gallon a day,
Yeah.
I can have some other liquids.
Yeah.
I'll pick it up then.
There you go. Yeah,
So
it'll be your treat.
I'll get back to you in March and see where we're at with that.
Well, it's full of electrolytes and only 20 calories, so you know it's good.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
And speaking of good, let's jump back into crypto docs. I want to kind of wrap into that one and then move into like kind of our last talking point. So crypto docs. I see your name up there on the about us section.
Drews.
And where did that name come from, by the way? How'd the Z get on there?
I think it was an accident, and then it just kind of stuck.
Just went with it.
Yeah, because it's like, I don't even remember how it happened, but I just kind of liked it, Drews, instead of Drew. I just went with Drews. Yeah,
We'll work with it. So is that going to be your specific NFT there? That's above it.
No, I didn't even know they put that up there yet. To be honest.
Surprise.
That's news to me. I haven't even looked at that. I should probably look at that.
You're famous now.
Oops. Yeah. Okay. I will I don't that's great. Oh my gosh. Cool. Okay, well, yeah, that settles that. I'm on the website.
That's funny. So the whole concept.
Oh, I want that to be my NFT. Yeah.
It's pretty sick, all right?
Sick. Yeah, no, I'm down. I'll take that one as my NFT for sure.
I like these. They're definitely these kind of have a Rick and Morty vibe to them as well.
Oh, I'm such a Rick and Morty fan. Yeah, now you got me excited even more because I didn't even think of that until now.
They do, rather, right? Like you see
They
it.
do. Yeah, I see it. Yeah.
I kind of like it.
Yeah, some of those galactic creatures, I dig it.
I'm definitely about it.
A lot.
I've been, like I said, this one was brought to me like probably a month or so ago, like we were talking about.
Yeah.
And some of these projects, like, I don't know if you feel this way, but some of these projects are so, I don't even want to use the word outlandish, but they're so unconventional to what it is that we're used to.
Yeah.
That sometimes specifically when it comes to like these types of utilities and use cases, which we're seeing more and more of these come up, that I think sometimes they're hard to like conceptualize that this is actually possible with what it is that they're trying to do.
Yeah. No, I'll agree with that. And I'll definitely agree with that for number 1, 2, 3. But number 4 here, Crypto Docs, this is real proven stuff. Like Dr. Lomax is a real doctor that has real studies, that has a real MD behind his name, that has a real product that is going to change it's going to have real world implications. Like, this is not a joke. This is not a joke. And you're talking about putting medical records on a blockchain. Do you know how much problems that solves for people?
Yeah, a lot. I mean,
do you have like the implications of that? That's insane. It's a game changer. Like, it is the game changer of the medical industry.
I mean, NFTs in general are a game changer.
Yeah. And then you change the medical industry by throwing people's medical records on top, encrypted in a file on the NFT that only a health facility can open. Yeah. You just flip the script.
It changes a lot of things.
Yeah. 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 Like, that's why as soon as I found out about it, I was excited. I was interested instantly. And, you know, I might not be American and I might not be able to reap the benefits of having that as an option for my health records. But maybe Dr. Lomax can work with a Canadian doctor and get it done for Canada as well. I'm sure that will be the next step, is prove that the business model works in America and then expand it to other countries. Why not?
Yeah.
What's the harm in doing that?
Yeah, and I think it ends up ultimately, I think, coming down to what it is that the people want.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, it's a lot better than a fax machine, which some places still use in Canada. I don't know about the States.
Some do. Pharmacies
Yeah.
use it all the time.
Just send me a fax.
Yeah,
What?
yeah. Which, to our point earlier of Ripple and some of those, the credit card processing industry still uses fax.
Yeah, no. Like, the banks still use fax.
Yeah.
I had to do an application for a bank and they asked me to fax it to them. I was like, oh, do those exist? Where do I buy that? Some antique store?
Can I just snap a picture of it with my phone and email it to you? Like,
oh, no, that's not safe. That's not safe. No, it's got to be a fax. It's laughable. It's laughable.
So I'll tell you this. I got this is 2012, 2011, something like that. I ended up getting a phone line installed at my house. I didn't have, like, there was no, like, I only have Ethernet ports now, obviously, but there was no phone line. And I needed it because we were doing a lot of fax, come to find out. And I was going to UPS and I was paying them and they were faxing stuff for me. And it was like, just a pain. So I went ahead and got one installed, and I now have used a fax machine, but before that time, I personally never used a fax machine. And I was trying and trying for like an hour to send this fax, and I kept getting an error response back. Well, I didn't know when you did the fax that you needed to put the 1 in front of the number. Like, I get the fax number, I'm punching in your fax number, and it's not freaking working. Nobody told me you need to include the country code, +1 in the freaking fax.
Yep.
There's no YouTube videos that answer that question.
Just doesn't exist.
Yeah. When it's not on YouTube, like, we're not supposed to still be using it. There's nobody that can fix my issue on YouTube with a video. Then we're past that point. We're
we definitely are. That's too funny, man.
Yeah.
Too funny.
And luckily enough, I haven't had to use a fax machine since then. I did it for like a year.
I think I just didn't even bother with that bank when they asked me to fax them my application. It was just like, I'll try somewhere else.
Yeah. I'll get back to you on that one.
Yeah. Yeah. Join us in the year 2021, maybe, or 2022 now. Join us, and then maybe we'll talk. This isn't 1999.
Yeah. It's insane. And so, speaking of hopefully leaving some things behind in the that we're currently using, looking out to the future, we talked about this one earlier, so I'm gonna hit you with it. What is the future of crypto from where it's currently at?
My ideal scenario?
Yeah, I want what you told me you had for me earlier. You said you got a line for me on the future of crypto.
This is my hope and dream that may or may not come true. But I'm all about financial sovereignty, right? So everybody can be their own bank with cryptocurrency. With great power comes great responsibility. If everybody took control of their money, you have roughly 7.8 billion sovereign individuals that can work towards goals together if they choose to do so. Because everybody says, oh, if everybody goes to crypto, who will build the roads? Well, if you want a road, you'll pitch in for it. There's no corruption involved. There's no, oh, I'll pay my buddy over here to build the road and give his company an extra 200 grand on top, and he'll take me out for a nice dinner and buy me some wine. There's none of that. It's a smart contract. We build a road together. Sorry if I'm getting a little aggressive there. I'm just passionate about this stuff. But it's just, I don't have time for people that are like, oh, we need the government to build roads for us. No, you don't. If you want a road, pitch in for it. It costs fractions of pennies on the dollar to build the road for the actual cost.
Yeah. I mean, so I see both sides of the argument. And there always ends up being another question of like, well, what about safety, right? For police and fire departments.
Well, police pay for them. Make them earn their job. Like, they don't just get handed money from the government. They earn the money from the people. They're here to serve and protect, aren't they?
True, but I'm just saying, like, so a totally decentralized
police force,
world in essence, right? Because what you're talking about is a global scale, 7.8 billion people.
Yeah.
Right.
Responsible for their own
selves.
Yeah.
And I guess the question that always kind of comes up with this is everyone capable of making that decision for themselves?
Everyone's capable of reproducing. Everyone's capable of driving a vehicle if they get a license. The government didn't get a license to run the government. They just got voted in by their friends. Excuse my assumptions.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I see both sides of it. And I'm not necessarily, I'm for certain parts, and I'm not necessarily opposed to certain parts, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, I guess my big thing is I want to see it proven. I want to see that it actually functions.
So people are buying islands and starting Bitcoin nations. El Salvador's made Bitcoin legal tender. These things are happening. Sorry, it's not fast enough for you.
I mean, El Salvador just happened a couple months back.
Yeah.
So and Bitcoin's been around for a decade or so.
It was 13th birthday a few days ago.
Dude, what is this, 2022? Yeah, okay.
13th birthday was a few days ago, yeah.
Okay, so a little over a decade.
Yeah.
What's the timeline? How do you, it's obviously hard to measure that.
Depends how fast they hike interest rates. What do they want the timeline to be?
And what does it ultimately get tied back to, right? Like right now, every time we quote Ethereum or Bitcoin, like earlier, we quoted Ethereum, we're always quoting it back to the US dollar.
Yeah.
At what point, or
are we
where
quoting the US dollar to Ethereum?
I mean, but at some point we've got to quote it to something. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
What like that's the part that like I can't.
Ooh, now you're getting interesting. Now you're gonna send me down a rabbit hole that I don't even know if I could come out of. Because then that's where you get into the Bitcoin standard, like the gold standard. Now we come into a new era where there's the Bitcoin standard. Bitcoin becomes the reserve currency of the world, and everything's pegged to Bitcoin. Bitcoin just gets to a certain point where it's reached a certain level and it's deflationary. So the value of it's consistently just going up because there's so much in circulation that the amount coming into circulation no longer matters because it's so insignificant. See what I'm saying?
Once all of them have been mined, essentially.
Well, right now they're almost all mined already.
Or close, right?
That's right. Yeah, because every 4 years, the incoming supply gets cut in half. So 2028, we're minting like 1.25 Bitcoins every 10 minutes. That's not even going to be, that's going to be not even a drop in the puddle. That's nothing. Right.
Right.
Like even right now, the 6.25 Bitcoins or whatever, like that's nothing. It's a decent amount, I guess, at the end of the day when you
It's $250,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's still pretty significant. But when you look at the scale of the deflation of the Bitcoin incoming supply, we're on the bottom steps. We're already a deflationary currency almost. Especially if you account for all the ones that are being lost, have been lost, will continue to be lost. You know, like people print paper wallets at my ATMs, and then they call me and they're like, "Hey, I spilt my coffee on this paper wallet. Can you recover my Bitcoin?" It's like, no, it says right on the bottom of it in capital letters, "Do not lose this piece of paper. This is your last line of defense for your cryptocurrency." So like, understand what you're doing.
But so like that's an example of that question of whether or not people are actually capable of making that decision for themselves.
That's where cryptocurrency needs to get to a certain point, the same as the internet has gotten to a certain point. Like if you had told somebody in 1995 that they could just type what is the age of Joe Biden or whatever on Google, and it would give you an answer within 1 second, they would have told you you're crazy. They would have told you you're crazy. That's never going to happen. You got to connect to the internet.
The old AOL dial-up tone.
Yeah, AOL. You got that CD in the mail, so you can go to AOL online for free and download MSN Messenger and slowly connect to it. Now I can look at my phone, and then you can say to your phone, "Google, answer me this." Like,
yeah,
you know, once cryptocurrency gets to that point, I don't know when that's going to be. Everybody's going to use it. Nobody needs to worry about it. It's just going to happen.
So then what happens to the dollar? What happens to the peso? What happens to the Canadian dollar?
Well, I think we can leave that one open-ended because somebody might want to take me out if I say my opinion. They're going to be great. They're going to do well. Please don't hurt me.
Fair enough. How many?
They can dig their own grave. I'll just say that.
All right.
I don't need to do any mic drops today.
I'll accept that. How many people? So it's always. I don't even want to say always. It's a crazy concept. It's a crazy idea, and so was Bitcoin. You know, like we said, 13 years ago. How many people along the way have just completely discounted what it is that you're saying, and how long have you thought that it was moving? Like, have you always thought that it would get to that point?
Yes.
And how many people have looked at you like you're crazy?
90% of people.
All
but now 80% of them have crypto.
So there's still 10% of people that are stubborn.
Well, I probably overemphasize that. The majority of my circle that called me crazy at some point owns crypto. Over 50% of the people that call me crazy now own it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Well, I think we should leave it there.
Cool. We should do this again sometime.
We'll pick it up again next time. See what
Tune in next time. Same MLT channel, same MLT time.
At some point we have to go down the rabbit hole though, right?
Oh yeah.
I mean, if the people want it, we got to do it.
Oh yeah. No, if we got to give the people what they want.
Yeah.
Government knows that, or do they?
like I said, at some point it's going to go there.
Yeah.
So, well, I appreciate it, sir. It's been fun. And
Certainly has, yeah.
we got a lot to look forward to. Definitely some projects that we're in together. Looking forward to those. You know, it's
I'm
always
saying much brighter days ahead. Like,
yeah,
you know, like everybody's kind of focused on the current situation that we're all in together.
yeah.
But I think we can all get out of this together if we all just use our heads a little bit and we see what's coming for us and we see what opportunities are presenting themselves for us. I think we can all pull ourselves out of this.
I agree. And I'm looking forward to it. I mean, like I said, there's so much potential, and there's so much, like, I like being challenged and seeing, you know, where technology and things like crypto take us. And again, the people that we're going to meet through this and everything else. So I'm really looking forward to, you know, where we are in another 13 years from today. And just looking back on it, and, you know, we're going to think differently, obviously, than we did 13 years ago from where we are now. So I'm looking forward to that. And again, thank you so much for coming on. And we've been chatting for a good while. We got tons of content. And for those of you listening in on YouTube, thank you guys so much for sitting in and listening in. Give it a thumbs up. I'm going to drop your socials in the description below as well. So if people want to reach out to you.
Yeah, I actually just started my YouTube channel last week. So I've got about 7 subscribers and like 200 views. So check me out.
You've been in crypto for a decade, but you just started this like new thing called YouTube a week ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. I got it. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Anyways, check him out. Thumbs up if you like this video. Leave some comments below and let me know if there's any other questions you guys have for myself, Drew, future content, and rabbit holes you want us to go down. Thank you guys so much. Peace. Camera's backwards.